announcement before we start today's video. Not really an announcement, but just about sports. The Edmonton Oilers were down 0-3 in the Stanley Cup final, and now they've tied it 3-3. And this video is going to be out after the Game 7. So if you guys know sports, you guys know Game 7s. Game 7s are fucking intense. And we have a Game 7 taking place very soon, and I'm really excited, really nervous. It's not my team, but it's just crazy how Edmonton has come back. I am Canadian, so Edmonton is on Canada, obviously. So it would just be nice to see the Cup come back to Canada, and obviously in the fashion that they're doing it. It's making me really nervous right now. And when this video is up, when you guys are watching me talk about this, the Oilers are going to be either champions or losers. So either the Stanley Cup will be hoisted by either Edmonton or Florida when you guys are watching this game, or it will have happened when this video has been out. And I'm just like, oh fuck, like I just can't, like I literally cannot, like I'm so nervous, bro. Like I'll be at work, but you best be bet I'll be watching that game 100%. Whew. I just can't wait. I'm trying to distract myself, but I can't. I'm still talking about it in a freaking horror reaction. Horror reaction, not horror reaction. But we have Mr. Nightmare today. 3 scary true summertime horror stories. Sorry for the little, thanks for letting me rant for a little bit there, but honestly, I'm ready for this. It's crazy that they've come back. I didn't have any hope in them after it was 0-3, but again, who was going to? Like, you just gotta play your game and hope that it happens, and it happens. So I mean, there you go. Let's see if the Oilers can do something that hasn't happened since 1942, when all of us were probably not around. So, starting. I've been watching hella Oilers videos and commentary and Florida Panthers commentary, and it's funny because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are Americans, so it's like me versus you guys, like, you know, Canada versus USA. That's essentially what it is. Even though there's a bunch of Canadians on Florida's team as well, it's like, damn, bro, like it's like Canada versus USA at this point, which is great. It's like the gold medal game, Canada USA, but it's Florida Edmonton Game 7. But it's, yeah, sorry guys. 22 minutes and 7 seconds long. Again, 3 scary true summertime horror stories. I biked to another city yesterday, so I was just imagining, because it was along the lake shore, right, up near Lake Ontario. So I'm by Lake Ontario, and then I'm biking by it to another city, and as I'm doing that, it was starting to get darker, right, because it was like evening, and I might do the same thing today. We'll see, but I'm probably gonna go biking today at some point too. But basically, I was imagining a horror story because I was like biking by this trail, and then the water. There's no lights there because like this is the trail, this is the water, and this is houses. So there's no lights here. So obviously people in the backyard can sleep. Not in the backyard, but just so people's backyards aren't like lit up by all these lights. I'm assuming that's why there's no lights there. Otherwise there normally would be, as far as I'm concerned. I know another show by the lake and there's lights there, but there's no houses nearby, so that's probably why. But I was just imagining, holy crap, like going through this area at like 9-10 p.m. when it's like dark, pitch black out, that'd be so fucking nerve-wracking and scary, to be honest. But I basically got home before it was like pitch black, and plus my lights, I have a lot of lights on my bike, so I'm basically good. But sorry guys, I've been talking for way too long at this point, but let me know what you guys think of who's gonna win, even though they already won. But I guess in the comment section down below, go ahead and say Florida won, Edmonton won, whatever the result may be. Feel free to do that if you guys care, if you guys watch sports at all. If not, I'll find out for myself because I'll be watching it live. And I may actually edit this video saying, oh my god, Edmonton won. But anyways, 4 minutes into this video already, I'm gonna shut the fuck up and talk and watch the video. If you guys want to just skip all that, that's obviously fine with me. I talk way too much sometimes. But that's what I was kind of like thinking about the past, like yesterday when I was biking down that trail. I was like, this is going to be a horror story. Let's not make it one, but this could be a horror story. So let's be careful. And I was careful, and then I was all good. So let's go. This was exactly my view yesterday. So it's fantastic. This is going to be great. Okay, let's go. I'm ready for this.
Summer is the greatest season by a long shot. That's a hill I'll die on any day.
Facts.
My love for the summer doesn't revolve around partying or drinking, as you may expect, but
No.
nature. Warmer weather and the outdoors are inseparable in my opinion, and I guarantee you that when the heat rolls through, I spend more hours outside than inside. It was a warm night in mid-June, a few summers ago when this happened.
Oh, mid-June, basically right now. I'm still ready for this.
I was 17 or 18 at the time. For context, there's a massive nature preserve near my house. When I say massive, I mean it. It's close to 1,000 acres in size. To this day, there are still parts of it that I'm positive I haven't explored. 2 of my friends and I agreed to spend a night camping in those woods. Technically, camping there was strictly forbidden and borderline illegal, but we figured that there was no chance someone would catch us in this dense forest. We just have to trek as deeply as possible. Chuck was the camping fanatic of the group. I'm telling you, this kid loved cosplaying as a Boy Scout and probably knew close to 100 different knots. Our other friend Jackson always supplied the drinks. If we were sober, he was unhappy. That's just how things went when Jackson was involved. I remember the feeling of the gentle summer breeze blowing through my hair as the 3 of us packed up Jackson's car. The weather was ideal, not too cold, not too hot. A few beers later, the 3 of us found ourselves lugging camping equipment through the woods at like 11:30. I can't lie, I was feeling the alcohol start to hit me as we marched along. Chuck always carried this industrial-grade flashlight with him, so the darkness of the forest wasn't much of an issue. As much as I enjoyed the
Just this, I can't. Like, anything with outdoors, like, on nighttime, I just cannot. Like, I just told you guys how I was biking down the trail, and it wasn't that dark yet, but it was getting dark on my way back, and I was like, it's getting kind of eerie, but it was still pretty busy along the trail, because it was a nice day yesterday. Today's even nicer, so that's why I want to bike today, because today's even nicer weather than yesterday. I'll definitely sweat a lot more than I did yesterday, but because today's definitely a good degrees hotter, but...
outdoors, though, traversing through thick woods at this hour was a bit creepy, even with Chuck's flashlight on hand.
Never.
After close to half an hour of straight walking, the 3 of us found ourselves in a small, flat clearing that was an ideal spot to set up camp. We pitched our tent as per Chuck's instruction and set our chairs up. The fire was the next step. Chuck once again took the lead on this, and after a few more minutes, we had a pretty decent fire going. Jackson reached into his bag and tossed me another drink. He then grabbed his JBL speaker and started playing some music. The vibe was perfect, and we must have been talking and drinking for a good 2 hours. We were all pretty drunk at that point, and I could tell the other guys were just about ready to pack it up for the night. Jackson turned the music down and started collecting discarded beer cans. Just then, a deafening whistle pierced the silence. I nearly jumped out of my seat, going from drunken haze to high alert in a matter of seconds. I don't know how to describe it. The whistle was abnormally loud, but still sounded distant. Jackson quickly shut the speaker off, and the 3 of us sat in silence as we exchanged concerned looks. I could feel my heartbeat pounding through my chest. We sat there, frozen in place for what seemed like forever, listening intently to our surroundings. But there was nothing. It almost seemed quieter now than it had when we first got there, like eerily quiet. Not even the normal wood sounds you come to anticipate.
That's weird.
I used that time to play my memory of the whistle back in my head. It definitely wasn't an animal's noise. The best way I can describe it is a standard whistle you'd hear at a ballpark. Chuck finally broke the silence, quietly urging us to pack up and leave. Jackson and I disagreed with that plan, though. We might risk encountering whoever made the noise, which I was beyond terrified of. It was past 3 a.m. at this point. An encounter this late would only mean trouble. Chuck hypothesized that whoever made that noise was probably aware of our presence, which was a chilling thought. I didn't know what to do. On one hand, staying put violated every survival instinct I had. Packing up and leaving at this hour didn't seem like a much better option either, though.
Honestly, you're kind of at not at a crossroad, but it's just like, like, what do you do at this point? It's like, is this a good idea? Is this a better idea? Like, what do you really do, right?
We finally agreed to wait it out. I went to put the fire out, but Chuck cautioned me against it, saying that a fire would repel any dangerous animals. Only then did the true gravity of the situation smack me in the face. We were literally miles away from any civilization. It was 3 a.m., and there was an unknown entity somewhere in the darkness. Another 10 minutes or so passed, and we had resumed talking, but at a much lower volume with no music. I don't think any of us felt safe going to sleep just yet, though. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. Something small flew over the darkness of Jackson's shoulder and landed directly in the fire. It was a firecracker. I screamed bloody murder as it started sparkling in the fire.
Fuck, bro.
Chuck cursed as he sprung up out of his chair and bolted into the darkness.
Bro.
Jackson and I scrambled to follow. leaving all of our stuff behind. We caught up with Chuck, whose flashlight was beaming wildly through the woods as he frantically sprinted. We ran until we couldn't anymore, and Jackson keeled over and threw up. Chuck shut the light off, and the three of us stood there, panting.
Keeled over? You mean kneeled over?
The woods as he frantically sprinted. We ran until we couldn't anymore, and Jackson keeled over and threw up.
Keeled over? What the fuck's keeled over? You mean kneeled over?
Chuck shut the light off, and the three of us stood there, panting, trying to figure out if we were being followed. To my
Probably.
surprise, it didn't seem like anyone followed us. I don't think I've ever been so afraid, though. Why in the world would someone have done that? We needed to figure out what to do.
Because you're not allowed to be there?
Jackson wanted to just find our way out of the woods and never come back.
All I can really imagine is that you weren't supposed to be there, so someone tried to like play a joke on you or do something. It's like a reserve, right? Or it's like a thing that it's illegal to even be there. It's not good to be there. It's like unethical, illegal, things like that. So it's like someone was just like, hey, well, I'm gonna fuck these bitches up. So that's probably what they thought.
Back, but Chuck was reluctant to leave all of his camping gear behind. Plus, he reminded us the fire was still active. I was dumbfounded. How could he be concerned with forest fires after what had just happened? Eventually, I agreed with Chuck that we should at least check on the site. After all, no one had actually chased us. So there was a slight possibility that whoever threw that firecracker was just playing a cruel prank. Chuck was a navigational expert and was actually able to retrace our footsteps.
Damn.
I could make out the glow of the fire as we quietly approached. Before I could get any closer, though, Jackson put a hand in front of me and pointed with a horrified look on his face. I strained my eyes to make out the site in the distance. What I saw is probably the most terrifying thing I'd ever laid eyes on. There were 3 people sitting motionlessly in our chairs like statues. The one whose face I could see looked lifeless and his mouth was hung open. I was afraid to move. What were they even doing? I thought, realizing that they weren't even talking. This was not normal. The 3 of us watched for a little while longer before deciding to back off. We turned to leave, but Jackson's foot clipped a rock, causing him to curse in frustration. Within seconds, the glow from the fire abruptly went dark, as if it had been covered with a cloak.
Oh my god.
Freakishly fast.
Oh fuck.
We didn't stick around another second. We again sprinted away from the site, but this time we could hear footsteps crashing behind us.
Oh my god.
We didn't stop this time. We bolted out of the woods and ran all the way to Jackson's car. By some miracle, we weren't followed out of the woods. None of us spoke on the drive back. Each of us lost in our thoughts. The next day, Chuck insisted we return to the site in the daylight to collect his belongings. Jackson wanted nothing to do with that, but I agreed to accompany Chuck. After some searching, we eventually found the site, which looked mostly untouched. That is, until we got a little closer and noticed the putrid smell coming from Chuck's tent. He unzipped it, and we found a dead, rotting rat. It was sickening. I took the hint, and haven't been back to that preserve since.
Well, I guess that's what you get for going to a place that's unethical or illegal. Because I've heard of a reserve before, but it's like I don't know much about it. Like I don't know many things, guys. I told you this before, but when you look up a reserve, it says Indian Reserve, so it's like indigenous. So I don't know if this is from Canada story or if this is like. That's all I can think of when it says reserve. In Canada, an Indian reserve is defined by the Indian Act of a tract of land, the legal title to which is vested in Her Majesty, that has been set apart by Her Majesty for the use and benefit of a band. Right. All I know is it's not good to go there, okay? If you're not supposed to. Bryson. Well, I guess
This
they don't know.
ongoing issue started about a month ago.
Ongoing
Let me
issue.
provide some context first. I'm 24 years old and I live with my parents.
Me too.
My family is not well off and never has been, and pretty much all of the money I make goes into supporting the household. My relationship with my parents is not the best. We bicker quite often, and whenever I'm not working or hanging with friends, I tend to stick to myself. I don't want to write a hard luck story or anything like that, but I've had it tough growing up. Fitness has always been my go-to escape. I see it as a healthy way to get my mind off personal burdens,
It is.
while also
That's
providing
great.
a good excuse to leave the house.
That's
There's
really
a
good.
park about a 10-minute drive from my house that has a workout facility, with bars for pull-ups, dips, and other calisthenic exercises.
Good.
During the summer months, I like to go there to work out as nature helps calm my mind. I like to go at nighttime because since it's a public park, it tends to get busy during the day. So one night, while my parents were arguing, I decided to slip out of the house to go work out. It was an extremely hot summer night, probably 85 degrees. I remember breathing in the humid air as I walked from my doorstep to the beat-up white Corolla sitting in our driveway. I started the rickety engine and rolled down the windows as the warm summer breeze flowed through my hair. I arrived at the park and exited my car. I was the only car in the lot. It was probably 10 or 11 p.m. The park was completely empty at this time. The beautiful scenery mixed with the steamy air to create a soothing atmosphere, which is another reason why I like this park so much.
Honestly, I relate. Like, I like going to places at nighttime too, but in the daytime is obviously nice too, sneaking the sun, the blue sky. It's just such a nice view to see, to be honest. And today would be a great day to go to the beach like I did yesterday. But obviously yesterday it wasn't, it wasn't bad yesterday, but it was just not that warm out. Now it's a lot warmer. Now it's great. Now it's sunny-ish. Yesterday was like all white skies. That's it. Not a single spot of blue. Like, just white everywhere. Across the whole lake, everywhere was cloudy. Completely overcast.
It sits on top of a hill that overlooks the downtown area of my city, which always adds pleasant and sentimental emotions to my evenings. Anyway, I started a set on the pull-up bar. I wasn't really counting the repetitions. When I work out, I just do it till failure, then take a break and do it a couple more times. It was somewhere between my sets when I took a break to loosen up my arms. Before I got back on the bar, though, an indescribable feeling came over me, and a subconscious urge forced me to turn my head around. Standing literally a foot away from my face was a tall, beaten-looking man. I actually screamed and jumped like 5 feet back.
The fuck?
He let out a raunchy, boisterous laugh and apologized, saying he didn't mean to scare me.
My ass.
His appearance and mannerisms were extremely eccentric right off the bat, like he was damn near face-to-face with me. He clearly had something wrong with him. I asked him why he was so close to me, and he said he lives here. He explained that he sees me working out here all the time, and asked me if I could teach him. Now, I'm a very non-confrontational type of person, and especially during a time like that, I really just wanted to be left alone. I awkwardly but politely told him I'm just going to do some pull-ups and leave. I hopped back on the bar and continued my set. His words marinated in my mind. He sees me here all the time? I felt the gaze of his eyes burning the back of my neck, but like I said, I'm very non-confrontational. While he did make me increasingly uneasy, I didn't really know what to say or do about it. But then something really weird happened. Right as I was about to finish my set, I heard him mutter my full name. My blood instantly turned cold as I jumped off the bar and slowly backed away.
Oh my god.
I said a shaky, "What?" He didn't respond, and instead just stared at me with this crazed, wide-eyed smile. I thought I might have been hearing things. That's how bizarre it was. I started to get an awful feeling in my gut, like something bad was about to happen. Without another word, I decided to quickly walk back to my car and leave.
Get the fuck out of
I
there.
felt that man staring at me while I retreated, and thankfully he didn't follow me.
Make sure he doesn't follow you home. I know you're in a car and he's not, but still make sure he doesn't follow you home.
I left the park, though. I took one last look, and I saw him hanging from the bar, attempting to do a pull-up. I watched as he grabbed the bar, tried to pull himself up, and then failed and tried again.
I would fail 100%, bro. I cannot do pull-ups for shit. Even push-ups, bro. That's funny.
In the exact position I was previously in. I swiftly left the park without looking back. The entire ride back, I questioned myself. Did he really say my name? Was I hallucinating? I tried to forget about it, and eventually I did. I woke up early the next day to get to work. I work construction, and I have to wake up very early before my parents, so I was the first one to notice the unmarked envelope sitting at my front door. It was addressed to me. I picked it up and figured I'd read whatever was inside whenever I had the chance. It was another sweltering hot summer day, and I took my lunch break early to cool down. I sat in my car while eating my pre-made sandwich and decided to open the envelope. I didn't really know what to expect, but never in a million years did I think I'd find 10 printed photos of me. They were all unknowingly taken. One was of me in my car, one was of me at work, one was of me exercising at the park. I instantly remembered that creepy man from the night before and started to feel uncontrollably nauseous. I stared in disbelief as I flipped through the rest of them. One was of my house, and the worst of all was a photo of me sleeping, taken from outside my window.
Oh my god.
I nearly choked on my food as tears rolled down my cheeks. I felt unsafe. I told my boss.
I have goosebumps like everywhere, bro. Oh my god. Fuck, oh my god, that's terrifying. Oh my god. How the fuck does he know where you live? How the fuck does he know everything about you? What the fuck?
A serious issue popped up, and I left work right away. He wasn't happy with me, but I did. Boss, tears rolled down my cheeks. I felt unsafe. I told my boss a serious issue popped up, and I left work right away. He wasn't happy with me, but I didn't care. I took a picture of the photos and drove directly to the police station. I gave the police the photos and explained my encounter at the park.
Yes.
I described the man to them, and they said they would look into it. I told my parents about it too, and for the first time in a long time, I actually got some sympathy out of them. More things started happening though.
Fuck,
a couple
bro.
nights later, at like 3 a.m., I awoke to knocks at the door. I didn't open it, assuming the worst. One day, I found a sticky note pasted to my car window with a heart drawn in Sharpie. I went back to the police to report this, and they said they would open up a stalker investigation. I haven't heard back from them yet. I figured it's hard to build a case without having concrete evidence.
Yeah. Plus, they don't know who it is. Like, you can't really open up and investigate. Like, again, I'm in security, right? But, like, we can't really investigate shit if you have, like, no idea who this person is. Like, you can describe them to me, but it's like they're also the police. Like, they're also the police of, like, the city. Not just of a building, right? So it's like, it's probably hard to get a suspect, you know what I mean? And obviously, to do anything about it, it's obviously even more hard.
This happened about a month ago, and I've been on high alert ever since. My parents are looking for a new home, which is already tough given our financial situation. I'll update if anything further happens, but until then, I'll continue to sleep with one eye open.
Damn, bro, that's honestly crazy. Like, that's honestly insane. Like, bro, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, and anytime I watch these stories, bro, it just makes me, like, anxious going outside. Because, like, you could literally go outside and then it's, like, the biggest mistake of your life. Going outside in the middle of the night, someone knows where you live now, and then you have a stalker for life. It's like, fuck, like, oh my god. Whew. Okay. Still got some goosebumps, but I think I'll survive through one more video, hopefully. I'm kind of actually chilly now because the goosebumps. I don't know. I don't know why I get kind of chilly sometimes. But do you guys get like random chills? Even if it's like warm outside, do you guys get like random chills? Because I definitely do. Like yesterday, I had some chills when I was eating ice cream. It was a nice day outside, but it was like, it wasn't like hot, but it was pretty good. It was, again, like I mentioned, it was like 21 Celsius, which is probably like 60, 70, I don't know. And it wasn't that bad to bike and everything, but it's like I had ice cream and then I was wearing shorts and short sleeve, no sun, cloudy, windy, and I was like, I'm kind of cold, bro. Anyways, okay. Now that I'm under some blankets, I'm a little bit warmer, so this just kind of makes me nervous wanting to go to McDonald's or biking, to be honest with you. Dosher.
This happened to me last summer when I was 22. I wasn't a very outgoing kid at the time. If I ever did anything social, it was because my degenerate friends had somehow dragged me out of the house. This was one of those times. Well, it was supposed to be. My friend Philip invited me to a house party at like 8 p.m. It was pretty spontaneous, but I had nothing going on, so I reluctantly agreed to go with him.
Oh, reluctantly?
I knew he was going to give me crap if I refused. I can't even lie though. The idea of a party, even with strangers, sounded more appealing than being alone.
Makes sense, but yeah, like it's like against your will, like basically forced against you, like you should, like, oh, he's not gonna be happy with me if I don't. Too bad, fuck him. Like if you don't want to go, don't go. You know what I mean? Like fuck what the other person says. Make sure that you're comfortable. Make sure that you're having fun. Make sure that you're, you know, make sure that you're happy. It looks really sunny outside. This is really nice weather to go outside, bro. I can't wait. Now it's 26, feels like 35. Oh yeah, it's definitely warm outside, bro. It's definitely nice and warm outside. It might storm a bit later though. Yeah, it might storm soon actually, so I may hold off on that, but...
Philip was a few towns over from me, so it made more sense for us to drive separately instead of going together. He gave me the Addy and I was on my way.
The Addy?
The literal second I pulled onto the street, Philip bailed at the last minute. Rightfully so, I was super frustrated. How could he bail on me like this?
Yeah.
There I was, feeling like a complete idiot outside a stranger's house. Annoyed but determined not to waste the night, I decided to go in.
Was it a setup or something?
Here, I thought, might as well go inside. I walked up the front steps and knocked on the door. The host, Randy, greeted me warmly. He was instantly likable, charismatic, and friendly without being a douchebag. He introduced me around, and things were actually less awkward than I had anticipated.
Okay.
People were really friendly to me despite not knowing who I was. There were even a few girls I had my eyes on. I decided to enjoy the party and hit the booze. Hard. It was getting pretty late, but the party was still raging.
Yo, didn't you drive there? Are you gonna stay the night at a stranger's house? Probably not.
Admittedly, I might have overdone it with the drinking. At one point, I was so nauseous and dizzy that I needed a break. It must have been close to 2 a.m. at that point. I went upstairs to look for a bathroom, but they were all occupied. The house was deceptively big. Granted, it was probably the alcohol, but I was literally getting lost, stumbling through the maze of hallways up there. After making it to the top floor, I found a door leading to what seemed like an attic or storage room. Desperate for privacy, I figured it was as good a place as any to pull myself together. I groped around blindly for the light switch, but there was none. This was definitely an attic or something, as there was also dust everywhere. There was a window in the far corner which I opened, allowing the cool night breeze to wash over me. There was a solid minute there where I was seriously considering throwing up onto the roof. The breeze somewhat cured my nausea though, so I just kept my head hung out of the window.
Can you imagine just like looking out your window one day and then you just see someone barfing on the roof? I just start to be like, you good, bro? Yeah? Okay, cool.
It was dark outside, and the quiet was a refreshing contrast to the boisterous chaos downstairs. Sometimes all you need to restore your state of mind is a gentle breeze and some peace and quiet.
That's true.
Just as I was about to close the window and head back, I heard a faint noise. Footsteps on the roof shingles. That didn't make any sense though. Was I going crazy? Curious, I climbed out onto the roof. In all honesty, there was probably a 0% chance I would have done that if I had been sober. I slowly stood up and looked around. In the moonlight, I saw something terrifying. There were two masked figures with bags emerging from another window. It dawned on me. Randy's house was being robbed. I started panicking. Should I shout? Confront them?
No.
Then a more pressing question hit me. What if they were armed? In my clumsy state of disbelief, I slipped and scuffed one of the shingles pretty loudly. One of the burglars heard it and jolted his head in my direction. Our eyes briefly met, and I froze. He nudged his partner, and the two of them quickly started making their way across the roof.
Oh my god, bro.
Adrenaline surged through me. I couldn't let them get away. Randy had been so welcoming, and I felt a surge of loyalty. I decided to act. I quietly followed the burglars across the roof, keeping a safe distance. They headed towards a sloping part of the roof for an easier escape. As they climbed down, I pulled out my phone to dial
Oh, they escaped. I thought they were gonna like come after you.
911, but fumbled in my drunken state, dropping it. The phone clattered loudly, and the burglars turned sharply. Who's there?
You were fucking up so much, bro.
One of them hissed. Phone clattered loudly, and the burglars turned sharply. Who's there? One of them hissed. Heart pounding, I ducked and scanned my surroundings, spotting a loose roof shingle. Without thinking, I grabbed it and hurled it towards them. It missed, but the noise startled them, causing one to lose his footing. He tumbled down the roof, crashing into the gutter before falling to the ground. The other burglar, now panicked, leaped to a neighboring tree and scrambled down. I rushed to the edge of the roof and saw the fallen burglar, groaning on the ground. I needed to alert everyone. As I turned to head back, I heard sirens. Someone else must have called the cops. I stumbled back into the attic room and made my way downstairs, trying to appear calm. The party was still in full swing, oblivious to the drama outside.
Fuck.
I found Randy laughing and chatting with guests. Randy, you need to call the police. There's been a robbery. I saw the burglars on the roof, I said. Randy's face turned from amusement to shock. Are you serious? He said. As he hurried to make the call, I explained what happened.
Wait, why call? Police are already coming. You said this like sirens were already on their way.
The party mood shifted. As he hurried to make the call, I explained what happened. The party mood shifted from celebration to concern. Apparently, one of Randy's neighbors had coincidentally already called the police to file a noise complaint, which was an incredibly ironic turn of good fortune.
Right?
When they arrived, I recounted my story, leading them to the injured burglar. The man was arrested, but his partner had fled. The party ended abruptly. People started scattering, and the lights got flipped on. I tried my best to act sober, but even after all that happened, I was still stumbling a bit. Randy thanked me profusely, still in disbelief. As for me, I was just glad I could help, despite the bizarre and terrifying circumstances. Looking back, I still can't really explain why the burglars would have chosen a house having a party to rob, but maybe they had prior knowledge of the house and knew no one would be upstairs. I figured that would be the end of the story, but fast forward a few months, I've got quite the update. I was playing video games at Philip's house one night when he got a call from Randy, who invited us over for a few beers. Up until that point, I hadn't actually realized the two of them were that close. The first thing I noticed when I pulled up to Randy's house was the front door and every window in sight were completely different. Was I not remembering his house right? I could have sworn the windows and the front door had been white, but they were all gray and much more heavy-duty looking. Randy waved us in, and we went down to his basement. We cracked a few beers and started playing a game of pool. To my surprise, he actually recognized me from the party and thanked me again for my trouble. What he told us was actually crazy, though. Apparently, the burglar the police caught that night refused to snitch on his partner and was currently serving a lengthy prison sentence. The police hadn't been able to get any leads into catching the other guy, though. Randy told us that not even a week after the incident happened, his family started receiving threatening letters from an unknown sender, some of which included pictures of Randy and his family members.
Fuck.
Obviously, they reported these occurrences, but the police had no real leads. A month after that, Randy's mom noticed a suspicious vehicle circling the house at like 1 a.m., and a few days later, Randy's dad claimed that things in their backyard had been gone through and moved around. In response, Randy's dad upped their home security a degree, and even went as far as to replace and reinforce all their doors and windows. I was shocked. This was still an ongoing issue for Randy, and I had no idea how serious a situation like this could get.
Fuck.
Summer's fast approaching, and I'm sure I'll have another update when I see Randy again.
Damn, guys, I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. That was an excellent video, I'm not gonna lie to you. That was great. These stories actually had me, like, terrified, bro. Oh my god, this was actually great. Like, cannot wait for these comments, but honestly, all stories were great. I felt like as each one kept going, I was like, yeah, this is the worst one, because it kept going. It was an extremely hot summer night, probably 85 degrees, laughs in Texan. I don't know how much 85 degrees is, so hold on, let me see, because I have to translate it to Celsius. 29.4 degrees. That's not that bad. Like, that is pretty warm, but we currently have 26, feels like 35. So if I do the math here, so it is 78.8 degrees, but it feels like, but it feels like 95 right now. So 78 feels like 95. We have a lot of humid from the lake that we have, so we always have, like, when it's 29, it's 39. When it's 32, it's 42. It's always like 8 to 10 degrees higher, but the humidity, it's crazy. Summer's here, nightmare's here. In fact, whoever made that whistle probably aware of our presence with the fire going and that JBL speaker blasting. You think? That's true. Like, maybe someone knows we're here. You know, there's a fire and you know, a loudspeaker, but someone knows we're here. That's weird. Like, who would have thought? You'd think after a decade of Mr. Nightmare, people camping in the woods would realize that going in without a knife, bear spray, or even gun is a bad idea. I never go into the woods without a knife and pepper spray. The funny thing is, my sister and my sisters and their boyfriends are gonna go camping in August, and I'm like, good luck. They're like, you want to come? I was like, fuck no. The fuck? No. 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 One of my degenerate friends dragged me out of the house, got on a story, got wasted, and became a superhero overnight. Honestly, though, Randy sounds like a cool dude to hang around with. ADD is, I've been to some of Randy's parties. Where about the party mentioned? Has fire, has speaker blasting. Guys, I think he knows. I was dumbfounded. How could he be concerned with forest fires after that? Because the guy threw a firecracker at your campfire. Oh, for emergencies. Okay. Okay, but I had no idea because I don't go camping, and guess what? I'm never going to, so I'm good. You know, he narrates them well, he's so well, and I'm scared listening to them in the daytime. Yeah, it's daytime right now, and I was like, fuck, as you can see through my window. Summer's the best season to gather around a fire and tell scary stories. Honestly, it is. It's just terrifying when one of the scary stories happens while you're telling your scary stories. House Man has been making videos for the better part of a decade, and they're just as entertaining now as they were then. I've been subscribed since 2017, and I don't think I've missed a single upload. That's great. Just in time for my solo camping trip deep in the woods. Great. Good luck. Who the fuck do you think those people were? Just pranksters or someone who meant real harm? I feel like, I don't know, like, yeah, they were probably willing to get violent, but maybe a gang of certain people that like to leave messages for people that camp in the nature preserve, yeah, or reserve, the Dead Rat Firecracker. I can't figure out why they were lifeless. Yeah, that's weird. All I can figure out with the first story is like, don't come here again, like you fuckers, this is your warning, right? But the second one was honestly terrifying, how it just became like a stalker situation, and then it's like number 2 and 3 are ongoing. Like if there's any updates, they'll let us know. And it seems like there's gonna be updates, which is fucking crazy. Oh fuck, that's crazy. It's a summer miracle, and Mr. Nightmare posts. Summer is just too uncomfortable to enjoy anymore. All you want to do is run back into the house under the AC, spring and fall, or where it's at. Not really. I've always loved the summer, the spring, and again, like, I basically biked like 60 kilometers or 70 kilometers in the past 2 days. I'm on my bike, and I might do another 20 or 30 today, so we'll see what happens. It is great weather. I just have to watch for the storms that may be coming this way. I gotta charge my phone, it's at 18%. And I got 8 too. And I gotta like clean my room. But I got all day, I'm good. But I noticed after long bike rides, I'm super fucking tired. Like I am dead after bike rides. Like I'm dead after bike rides, which I guess makes sense. But after going 35 kilometers, which I'd never done before, that was 10 kilometers over my previous record. That's gonna be a little bit, that'll fatigue you just a little bit. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Cannot wait to watch reactions to this video, for damn sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. And again, at this time when you're watching this, the Edmonton Oilers or the Florida Panthers will be Stanley Cup champions. I really hope it's Edmonton. I'll see you guys in this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and deuces. Peace.